Hey, my loves. So today I want to talk to you about radical ownership and this final 7-7 Stargate of July, which we are in right now. And it is also the Mayan day out of time. Now, I want to first mention to you, I had a massive download this morning that really was a bit of a game changer on an energetic level as well as kind of a pivot point moving forward. And so I want to start with that. And it was that kind of download that really makes you stop and go, oh my gosh, yes, why haven't I been focusing on this? So it all started with a question that dropped into my awareness. And it was simply the idea of what if I stopped depending on or counting on anyone else for anything that I know that I'm here to do or simply can do, and things are presenting themselves to me. And honestly, it changed everything about how I am seeing this moment in time and moving through this threshold between July and into August, the season of the lion, and this tremendous amount of momentum that we're about to really step into. And I felt so strongly about this. I shared it with my partner this morning and asked him to frequently to step into this and play with what I played with in the morning. And it was profound and really, really timely for the energies that we are sitting in right now and that are being so supportive of us being able to step more fully into who we are and then be able to rise and shine in this next half of 2025. Okay, so let me share what I put this together originally just to share with my list. And then it just came through super clear that I need to share with you as well. So, first, I want to actually share exactly what came through in that download and then why today, July 25th, is such a pivotal moment energetically for us. And more importantly, how you can step into what I'd like to call just radical ownership on your own path. Because here's the thing, we are standing in the final 7-7 Stargate of the month, right before what is called the Galactic New Year. And the energy is quite literally demanding that we stop playing small. Have you guys been feeling that? Yeah. Okay. Hopefully my hand doesn't go up in this recording. Okay. So let me paint the picture of what's happening energetically for us right now. So we've got the sun that is fresh in Leo, and that is all about pure sovereign self expression energy. And then there's also the moon that is in Virgo. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I'll be the first to admit that, but I definitely am aware and pay attention to the energetics of these alignments because they directly impact how we navigate our day to day. And so the moon being in Virgo is taking all that visionary stuff from the Leo sun and saying, okay, what do I actually do with this now? And so this third 7-7 portal, which is today on the 25th of July, this is how it's playing out sequentially through the month. So July 7th was when we cracked open, so to speak, our soul memory of what we're doing here, who we're here to become. And then on the 16th of July, the next 7-7 Stargate, that was all about purification and integration. So you may have noticed that during that time, there was a lot of stuff coming up, old insecurities, old fears, worries, just like old stuff, and maybe some new stuff, but just stuff that was coming to the surface, either subtly, making your nervous system hum in an off key for several days at a time, or maybe it was something really big that was just coming down and just like hitting you in the head, or that was happening externally and you couldn't help but notice it, right? And then today is about embodiment. So it's, put your proof in the pudding, so to speak. And today is also a universal day of the energies of the 23 and 5. And 23 is the royal star of the lion. It's known as the most powerful energy in numerology. And the 5 is about change, it's about transformation. And the big message behind all of this, which you can probably feel yourself, and personally, this is how I experience things. I will feel and have the experience first, and then often go and see what is actually taking place and ask in, astrology or numerology to kind of echo what I'm already experiencing. So I'm trusting that you can relate to a lot of what I'm sharing here too. So please let me know if this is making sense to you. But the message that's coming through from these energies, and especially today, I mean, I felt it so profoundly, is like, you don't have to pretend to be smaller than you actually are anymore. Why are you pretending? Why are you letting the lower mind dictate when you rise to a challenge and when you don't, telling you some kind of story that somebody else should be doing that, or that's not necessarily my responsibility, or if I'm doing that, or it's not done in time by that other person, or just by an external source, that I have to accept it when I could actually do something different and take that on myself. So here's what we're going to dive into. And first of all, we're going to talk about the belief, okay? Why radical ownership is actually our natural state and why we might not normally believe that that's the case. We're going to talk about who you become when you stop waiting for permission. And then we're going to look at the real download about Christed embodiment, what that means, and then how this shifts everything moving forward. Given the time that we're in, we're literally at the halfway, crested through the halfway point of 2025 and approaching the Lion's Gate of August 8th. So your natural state is actually radical ownership. What do I mean by that? So here's what I realized this morning, and I want you to really feel into this. You already know who you are and what you're here to do. You already have what you need to do it. And the only thing that's been missing is full permission from no one else externally, but full permission from you to be it and do it. How does that resonate? We have been conditioned, this is the part that is crazy, that we've actually been conditioned to think that owning our power, to being empowered, to not relying on external sources is somehow selfish or arrogant, or that we deserve better. So maybe a bit of entitlement. Do you know what I'm saying? Anybody relate to this? Yeah. Because if you don't have on one spectrum the feelings of like, oh, well, I'm just not worthy enough, or I don't deserve to own my power. If you're not on that side, you may be on the opposite side, which in my opinion is actually a little sneakier in terms of the ego manipulation, which is you are simply waiting for somebody else to do something because your mind is telling you that that's how it should happen, that it's only fair if it happens that way, or it's their responsibility, not yours. You name the story. There are so many iterations of it, but there's two different versions of that story that could be playing out for you. So I'm curious, which one is your mind speaking to? And right now, at this time, when we are really being called to look at things and illuminate the truth and eliminate that distortion. So what if I told you that not owning your own true empowerment is actually the selfish thing, as opposed to taking charge, not waiting for anybody else, not waiting for permission, and just doing the thing, regardless of how so-and-so may take it, even if it's like your deepest truth or what you really feel called to do, you're shrinking because of something external, feeling like you're being selfish to do that thing that is calling you, what if it was the opposite? What if you ignoring that, not doing that thing was actually the more selfish thing to do? Hmm? Because when you withhold your true expression, some may say when you dim your light, it's not quite my language, but just so you get what I'm saying, and you wait for somebody else to either validate you, to give you the approval, to say that they still love you, to applaud you, right? You're essentially withholding your own path from unfolding for yourself. And that path is not coming out of thin air, out of nowhere. That is your true soul path that is attempting to illuminate itself for you, to invite you to follow it, to be it, to create through it. And really, folks, that's our whole purpose for being here, is to follow that path. There really is no other purpose. Does that land? Is that making sense? Right? Being in alignment with that path, with that aspect of you, the fullness of you, is why you're here. So when we listen to the mind tell us that stepping off of that because of this story or that story that we tell ourselves, we are listening to the lies coming from our own mind and ignoring the truth that we actually hear whispering in us all the time. And maybe other people have been whispering it to you too. Generally, that happens, right? So, radical ownership, it isn't about force, it's not about control, much like the word ownership may imply. It's about frequency. It's about saying, I will go first, I will hold the space, I will do this thing regardless if my mind is telling me that you should be doing it because it's your turn, because I did this tit for tat, that it's not fair that I'm doing this, or that I shouldn't have to do this. If you have something burning inside you that you know you can do, you're capable of doing, and there is all of this built up resistance and frustration that's starting to accumulate under the surface as you observe that thing not happening, while you sit back, listen to the stories convincing you of why you shouldn't do that thing, just rise, shine, do it, and create momentum moving forward. It's an interesting place to be because we are holding ourselves back from actually creating momentum, and often, not always, but often following an impulse that we are being guided into by the fullness of who we really are, by our soul, by the higher self. So it's one of the sneakiest places that the ego lies. And instead, what I'm suggesting is that we say, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter that it may, be different on the scoreboard than I would like to see it. I'm just going to do it, not because I have to, because I can. And in doing so, I get to allow this brilliant creative energy that is boiling up within me to just be flowed into that. And the moment I do, I feel a sense of relief. I feel a sense of release because the energy is finally flowing. The thing that is to be done is done. And there's no more energetic block towards the thing that I ultimately want on the other side of that thing being done. Maybe it's cleaning part of the house. Maybe it's taking full ownership over a job, over a career, over, maybe it's even over just like bringing in resources for the household, whatever it is. But waiting for somebody else to do some of it or more of it or all of it, because that's the way your mind is telling you it should be. And yet there's so many parts of you that are just wanting, like, oh, If I could just do that myself, if I could just do that, if I could just move that forward, what's stopping you? What is stopping you? That is the question that came up today. And so when you step into radical ownership, you are not just changing what you are or what you are doing, you are changing who you are. Does that make sense? When it landed in my mind, this question of what if I just didn't count on anybody else for any of that? And I just did those things myself. And finally just said, I don't need to wait. And I don't need to hear the story in my mind telling me, oh, it will take too long. Oh, they could do it better. Oh, they should be doing that. Like, that's why they're there. Whatever the story is. What if I just allowed that energy that was coming in that moment, knew what to do, or at least enough to get started, and just let it flow and just go? Have you ever had those moments when you didn't stop yourself, you didn't turn off the tap, and you may have partway through been going, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm spending my time doing this. And then when you get to the other side, you're like, oh my God, that was so actually satisfying. And look, it's done. And look, I did it. And look, now I'm here on the path. I'm no longer there waiting, allowing the energy to get stopped up, because that's ultimately what it's about. It's about the frequency we're able to step into and where we are channeling this energy. And when we are blocking that energy and not allowing it to step forward because of the stories we're telling in our mind, the distance or the bridge, that real threshold, that passage between having the thoughts and observing where we are in the moment, not liking where we are, and looking at what we want to have had completed or where we want to be, and choosing to not take full ownership for it, radical ownership for it, and just make it happen. Not any longer depending on anything outside of you to do it. Just saying, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how. It's not about the clarity necessarily that comes in, but there is a cleanness that permeates through your entire field that makes you feel empowered, that makes you feel clear. There is a sense of relief that drops in, as I mentioned. And then it's like the ego just gives up. That's how my partner described it this morning, because I asked him, I said, okay, you've got to do this. Humor me. Stand still for just a sec. He's like, I don't have time to do it. I'm like, no, literally, it takes 30 seconds. Not even. It actually takes about 10. Just stand there for a moment. Pick something that you feel like has been causing you frustration. And since many people are, feeling money frustrations, let's play with money. Okay. So I just said to him, pick something, but let's do it together. And let's say it's about money or something to do with your work or with your duties and responsibilities at home between yourself and somebody else, maybe, right? And just stand there and feel what it feels like to know that you're not where you want to be, or that thing is not done yet. And in some area where you are counting on somebody else to pull their weight. Can be anything. So pick that thing. And now just choose and decide in your mind, you know what? I'm just going to own that myself. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Pretending that that person doesn't exist, pretending that there is no other way, not from a place of fear or worry. You're not inviting that in. but from a place of empowerment, like, okay, what if it was just me? What if there was only me? What if all I had to count on was me? And I got to figure it out. I got to do this thing. I got to see it happen exactly as I've always dreamed it would or envisioned that it would. And then I get to really be satisfied as I watch it all unfold for myself. Stand there and notice what shifts in your field. There is an immediate lightening that happens, right? Because their resistance that was once there from the unknowns of, will they do it? Are they ever going to do it? Are they going to do a good job? Like, can I count on them? How long is it going to take? Is it going to end up looking the way I want it to? All that disappears. How much is going to be left on me? Is that really fair? All the stories, when they disappear, the ego gets quiet. All that's left is creative potential and the potential of you expressing in your fullest. No taps turned off, not dimming down, holding back because it's not right, because somebody else should be stepping up and doing some of it. What if it was just you? What if you just flowed in the moment? If you were inspired to do that thing, and this time you didn't stop? I challenge you to do that the next time you find yourself stopping, no matter if it's something big, like choosing to take on, I don't know, even imagining that you were to take on the responsibility for the entire household for something, whether it was cleaning your house or taking on all the financial responsibility that you may not voice that, but you might in your mind just say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pretend that everything was on me and watch and see myself rise to the occasion. And let me just put myself to the test and see what I can do. Or maybe it's something at work where there's two of you that split something, or there's something that takes place. Oh, it could be something like, in the office, there's always stuff that's left undone in the lunchroom and nobody likes to do it. What if you did it because you hated seeing it? And you were leaving it because, well, if you did it, then everybody would just expect you would do it all the time. Story. Or if you did it and you've already done it twice and somebody else hasn't done it once. Story. What if you just did it because you're inspired, because you can? And you could even say, because you get to make the space beautiful, because you get to put your touch on the kitchen, because you do a brilliant job with organizing, because you have like a Midas touch when it comes to knowing exactly how to place things. This is the funny thing. We all come with gifts and we tell ourselves that they have to be put in certain boxes. Otherwise, they shouldn't be seen, or we shouldn't waste our time with them. But those gifts come and can be expressed in so many ways. And we so often tell ourselves that it's not appropriate, it's not worth it, it's not fair. What if it had nothing to do with that and it just had to do with frequency and you emanating your true soul signature, which sometimes calls you to be the one that steps up in an area that seems like, why would you bother doing that? You're not getting paid for it. It's not your responsibility. It's not fair. Why you do it is because you can. And because there is a spark that lights up within you. that shines when you start to point your energy and your focus in that direction. And here's the thing, it's actually not all about that one task that you're doing. It's practicing Christed embodiment of your true, unique soul expression. Because you don't just show up embodied in one area and not embodied in another. That's a little bit of spiritual ego happening. I hate to break it to you. If you're going to show up as your true self, no matter what you're doing. That is what we are here to embody. Our true essence, our true signature, our creative flow, the Kundalini, essence, energy, chi, many words for it. When it comes forward, when it rises within you, when we stifle it by listening to the ego mind, we are doing nobody a service, and we are especially not following our soul path. And the tricky lie that the ego mind is telling us so often is in these tiny areas, as if they don't count. I'm here to tell you today that they do, more than we realize. And when we're fully willing to step into all moments as the fullness of who we are and just do the thing because we can, we get to show up as our pure presence. We get to steward our energy unconditionally, steward our soul essence through our physical body unconditionally. It does not matter what it is I am focusing my attention on. If I feel that creative essence within me, I go. I do it. It's the end of manipulation. It's the end of martyrdom. It's the end of distortion of your own soul signature, putting it through that filter of the ego lens. And it's also the end of delay, because there's no more waiting. You're just doing, and everybody else gets the benefit. But here's the thing, so do you. So it's you saying, I don't need to wait for anybody else to do their part to move me forward. I don't need to delay my expression, my service, my abundance, my presence, my waiting for some energy out there to shift before something else happens. Because the moment you choose, you can carry out your vision. Doesn't matter what it is. And that's the thing. We are not here to only carry out the big vision. Our life is made up of little moments, of many, many little visions. Don't listen to the lies that it's just the big one. That's where the ego really shines, because it's completely hidden and you can't tell. So don't listen. Because the moment you choose to carry out any aspect, any size of your vision, something ancient activates within you. And it's this code of radical ownership, knowing that you are source in physical form, wanting to play in this moment with the dishes, wanting to play in the next moment with your business partner's ad campaign, knowing in the next moment that it is you wanting to play with manifesting abundance when it's somebody else's job. It's anything. So what this changes moving forward is perhaps how you've been feeling. So you may have been noticing a frustration rising and an inability to keep your opinions to yourself. or to not settle. That is where this is coming from. It's this energy within us all that is wanting to come to the surface and finally say, enough is enough. I'm done waiting. And it points the finger outside, right? I'm done waiting for you to do it. I'm done waiting for you to do it. But really, what it's about is I'm done waiting for myself to do it. That's what this is leading to. That's what this is leading to. It's a rapid release of old identities. There are surges of visions and wisdom that is coming forward at this time. This energy is very supportive for that. So it's a lot of fun. And you may also feel it in like grief, because there's aspects of us, old identities that are dying. And that's okay. Allow that stuff to come up. It's all cathartic and is allowing this energy to be transmuted. But it isn't random. It's not out of the ordinary. This is the nervous system literally rebooting into a higher architecture. And the soul itself is shedding anything that is out of resonance or alignment with that frequency. So let it go, let it die, let it feel weird, let it feel out of sorts, and then shake it off. And bottom line is, here's what I'd like you to bring out of this conversation into your everyday. Okay. Number one, stop waiting. Whatever you have been circling around, waiting for somebody else to do, telling yourself that you shouldn't have to do it, it's their job to do it, or I shouldn't have to do it, right? Stop. Whatever you have been performing on the edge, instead of just like leaping and doing, just do it. Just do it. Let this be the day that you stop pinning somebody else as being responsible for that thing, and just do it. And then notice how good you feel. Notice the satisfaction, the lightness, the freedom of liberating that creative energy, that kundalini that has been rising all month. Just do it. And then see what happens. And speak your truth, right? Not the ego's truth. Please learn to discern the difference. Speak what really feels true. We cannot keep that hidden. You can be gentle. Do your best to be tactful, I guess, if it feels in resonance, right? But speak and say the things that are coming up as true for you, that maybe you're stifling yourself to say. And do the things, say the things, whatever it may be, even if there is no one there to applaud you. Leo likes applause, likes to be seen, right? Use that to your advantage by just getting something done, just doing the thing. Don't let the distorted expression of that Leo energy be like, okay, well, if I'm not going to get the applause for it, I'm not going to be recognized for it, I don't want to do it. No, go with the Leo, that shining aspect of it. It's just like, just do it for the joy of doing it, right? So especially if no one is around to clap, and create from knowing. Just know that you will be so satisfied by just moving that thing forward yourself. Don't wait for anybody else. You are here to do the things that you keep circling or keep witnessing and wishing that they were done. Just do it. Just do it. And remember, you're not here to be liked. You are here to express as your true essence. And these nudges, these things that are calling you, even if your mind is telling you, this is so trivial, this is beneath me, don't listen. They all are leading you to a fuller, more satisfying experience of life. Don't ignore it. Don't trivialize it. Don't minimize it. Everything builds on the step before. If you have not taken the nudge, followed the nudge, the guidance on something small, what makes you think. Your soul is going to bring you something big, the thing that you keep focused on, but are ignoring all of the steps to get there. Let that sink in. All right. And in closing, so if you choose to walk this path of radical embodiment, you're not alone. Okay. There are several, I'd say many of us, maybe not many, but many more are rising now to do exactly the same thing. And many of us are feeling this build up within us now. It's the next step of our evolutionary journey as souls. So there are others out there just like you, if this is resonating with you. Stewards, visionaries, soul creators who are remembering all of this as well. So let today be your moment of choosing, not just the vision, but your true soul dreams and the embodiment of this new version of you that is being called forward at this stage of your journey. I want you to know that I see you and I honor you and I appreciate you for being on this journey with me and being on this journey with all of us that vibrate in this similar consciousness. It's an exciting time to be alive, and it's an exciting time to rise into this higher expression of you. So if this resonated, I want you to drop a comment below and let me know. And tell me, what's one thing that you are ready to stop waiting for either permission to do or waiting for somebody else to do? What's one thing you are ready to stop waiting for? I'd love to know. I read every single comment and I look forward to hearing what you are going to stop waiting for. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more updates and soul-led guidance like this. Please subscribe and share this with someone else who could enjoy and appreciate the message. My name is Katya Marie. I'm a frequency mentor, soul alignment guide, and I would love to walk this journey with you. Sending you so much love.